This is Shane Watson here for Priority Boxing Promotions. I'm lucky enough to be joined by John McCallum. How are you, John?
Yeah, not too bad, Shane. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Obviously, you've got some massive news lately.
Yeah,
Stepping up to Cruiserweight, and of all places, you're going to be going to Russia. So tell us a little bit about that.
yeah, it came as a bit of a surprise. Um, about 10 days ago, I got a phone call from Charlie and Mo saying there's an opportunity for you to box an Olympic heavyweight gold medalist and world amateur champion in Russia for a WBO European title. And I was like, oh, yes, please. Let's go. So, this came out a bit last minute. Only had really 2 weeks' notice, but I'm just one of those guys that's always in and out of the gym anyway, so I'm always kind of in half decent shape. So it's not taking too long to try and get in shape for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your career has been notably at super middleweight. Obviously, you've had some very good fights in the past. It's a massive jump up for Cruiserweight for you. Obviously, the size difference from super middleweight, even light heavyweight to Cruiserweight is massive, and you're fighting against a very fully fledged Cruiserweight. Um,
Yeah,
do you think that's going to be? That means you're right up against it, even on the weight come fight night.
yeah, I think I'm up against it in all aspects of this fight, to be honest. I mean, firstly, the fight's in his backyard, Katerinburg, Russia. Um, the fight's at his weight division. It's for a belt that he's already won, the Intercontinental version of that WBO belt. He's the Olympic gold medalist. He's 6'5". He's a southpaw. He's got the height, the reach, the amateur pedigree. He's got the experience. I mean, he's got everything in his corner. To be honest, he's got everything to lose as well. I mean, I've nothing to lose in this fight. Nothing. I've never boxed at this level before, but I've never really been tested, so I'm quite excited.
And going into a fight of this magnitude, does it make you proper fired up in the gym to prove the doubters wrong, and also a fight that could literally change your life?
100%. This is the fight that, like I've always said, that the phone will ring one day, and I'll be offered a fight that I'm expected to lose. Like, let's be real here. They're offering me this fight because they think I've been at the ring 2 years, sat on the couch. I'm going to get off the couch and go a few rounds with this guy. But that's not the case. I know this one fight could put me right in the top five in the world. You see a Coley's fight in Glowacki for the vacant WBO world title. They're number 1 and 2. Me beating Tishenko puts me right up there. Try and get a mandatory with one of them, the winner of that fight. So definitely.
And how's sparring and stuff gone from this camp? 'Cause I'm sure, assuming you've been sparring some big crews, but I've seen you've been sparring Nick Webb. How's that been going?
Yeah, good. Nick's a good friend of mine. We train in the gym together all the time. We've been training alongside Mark Morrison as well. And Nick's trainer, he's been there with Nick for a long time. So I've done a few rounds with Nick here and there just to get the size as well. Nick's 6'5", so he's the same height as Tishenko. I mean, normally in these fights, as you know, that I was welterweight, middleweight, super middleweight, I always had the height and reach advantage. So it was always, I was the taller boxer, and my style was always to try and box and counter. But for this fight, it's going to have to be completely different because in the real world, I'm never going to be able to outbox this guy with his height and reach and the Olympic sort of pedigree. So, I mean, I'm going to have to go roll the dice and really go for it early.
Would you say you're punching a lot heavier at Cruiserweight as well?
Yeah, I'm feeling much stronger at Cruiserweight. I think the problem with all my fights previously is I've dieted too much to get down in weight. I think it was just drilled into me from quite an early age that you had to always be the bigger, like, taller boxer. You always had to get down in weight. And I think I took too much weight on it. And that's where the lack of knockout percentage is came. Because in the gym, I'm knocking people out. It's just when I was going into fights, I was dieting too much. Even on the day of the fight, a lot of the fights I had, the weigh-ins were on the day and stuff. And a lot of the small hall shows. So by the time I got in the ring, there was nothing left.
Yeah, and is it a bit of a worry about maybe if you go into later rounds against a guy with the experience of Tishenko as well? I mean, in the sense that you haven't gone the championship distance before. I mean, he has, and
Yeah.
obviously he's got the experience of doing that. So is that a bit of a worry for you at all? Or?
No, not really. I know that, like, if it starts off like a bit of a boxing match. I know that I might lose a few early rounds in this fight, but even if I was to outbox Tishenko for 10 rounds completely, I'm never going to get the decision in Russia. They're never going to let me win on points over there, so I need to knock him out, and I know that. I mean, you have to look at Vasquez and Ritson, and that happened in England.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy won Olympic gold, was presented like an honour by Vladimir Putin and stuff. Like, over there, he's a national hero. So, they're never going to let me just have a close fight, close scrap, a 10-rounder, and give it to me on a split decision. It's never going to happen. So, realistically, I know I need to knock him out to win this fight.
And when are you expected to go to Russia? Are you just going to go a couple of days before the fight, or?
Yeah, the fight's on the Saturday and we fly on the Wednesday morning.
And how is it going there and coming back? Have you got to do the old quarantine stuff, or?
I'm not too sure, actually. I know we don't have to quarantine when we're over there. I'm not too sure if I have to quarantine on the way back. I hope not.
Yeah.
I've actually been stuck in the house for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it would not be good. It won't be good.
No.
Well, thanks for joining us, John. Obviously, we wish you the best of luck ahead of your fight, and hopefully we can catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, no, anytime. Thanks very much for having me.
Thanks. Bye.